Hey guys, Average Gamer here. It has been a long time since I've made any videos, but after coming back on my break, I decided that I would make a Civ 5 mod review since they seem to be getting decent views and whatnot. I have to apologize beforehand. I think that my mic is broken, so my video is being recorded through my laptop mic, so the weird fan-like noise you hear is from the laptop fan. I'm going to try to talk over it, but if it bothers you, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can look past it. But anyway, let's get right into this mod review. This one's going to be a little different than the other ones I've done. I want to go over mods that make the game in general a more smooth, better game, rather than adding something like an Elder Scrolls pack, which kind of changes a lot of things. These are just improvements upon what already exists for the game. So let's get right into this. One of the things I do want to point out, if you are playing with mods, or these mods, any mods, you want to be sure to save your game repeatedly. The more mods you use, the more likely it is that your game will crash, because conflicting mods tend to crash your game. So just be aware of that, and either set your autosave to a very minimal amount of turns, or just remember to save a lot. If you can deal with the game sometimes crashing, though, you can find that mods are quite fun to test around with. That's if you're a mod type person. Some people aren't, they like the classics. So anyway, enough's enough. Let's see what I got here. Alright, first thing, Barbarians Unlimited EXP. This is something that I use. If you don't know, at level 3, Barbarians stop giving you experience, which, though it has its purpose, I find it kind of ludicrous, because you deal with a lot more barbarians than what gets you to level 3, and they should at least get you a minimal amount of experience. I understand what they're trying to prevent with this, but I do think that there needs to be some recognition that barbarians should always give you EXP, because otherwise, eventually you're just killing them and not getting anything for it except an irritated headache from all of them. So I use this. The next one is the Buildings Upgrade System. This one is quite useful. Basically what it allows you to do is, after you build a building in a city, you can take some turns for your building or city production, and you can improve that building. Improving a building simply increases its gold maintenance by about half, and then increases its whatever it's called, resource output, that's the word. It increases its resource output by roughly half as well. So, say you have a library in your city, you can spend, I'd say, 5 or 6 turns improving it. It goes up in maintenance, but it increases your science output. This is extremely useful for focusing in on whatever your victory style is, or whatever it is you want to farm a lot of, whether it's gold or science or culture, all those things. This makes it much easier to get ahead in those things early game, whereas in the regular game, it sometimes is hard to get too far ahead in a lot of things until mid to late game, where you can really start focusing on the advanced buildings and really utilizing what you have. So I use this. There are a couple patches I have here. They all got upgraded. They're no longer in my checked list because I haven't seen how they work. Prehistoric era, I want to go over this one briefly. This is one of the hit or miss one. It adds 2,000 more years. It just adds an era before the ancient era, and it's fun for some people, not as fun for others. Like I said, it's hit or miss. So I don't use it, but I would recommend checking it out at some point. Maybe I'll do a mod review on it, but you should check it, at least check it out. If it doesn't turn out to be anything you like, then no big things lost, but it's worth checking out. Promotions, Ancient Ruins Choice. This is essentially taking that Shoshone ability that scouts have to pick any reward from Ancient Ruins and giving that ability to every civilization. It does give the Shoshone something else in place of that ability, but this just allows it so that Ancient Ruins can be taken and you can get whatever you want. And again, this is one of those things that helps you focus early on, like getting that tech, getting that culture, getting that gold, the religion, whatever it is you're going for. It just makes it so you don't run over a ruins and get nothing useful to you. Because sometimes you'll find 3 or 4 ruins with maybe a population boost or some gold, and no, it's nice, but if it's not what you're going for, it can be irritating. So this just kind of fixes that. This is another one that's kind of hit or miss, because the Shoshone, I don't actually remember what they get in place of this, but I'm not always the biggest fan of taking away Civilization's special abilities, because they have those special abilities for a reason, and balancing and taking that away from them kind of makes that particular race a bit less useful. But this is the one I've made an exception for, because I like to be able to focus my games early on. The next one is the Promotions Expansion Pack. This essentially takes that kind of not so awesome promotion style they have, and it makes it a lot bigger, so you can really specialize your promotions with this. I find it to be a lot more useful. It's kind of overwhelming at first, but once you learn what everything does, it really does make it so you can fit your units to whatever you're dealing with at that time period. Much more specialization, not the generic stuff you have to deal with normally, because in most games your units don't even survive long enough to get to the special promotions. This just kind of makes it easier for that to happen. So I recommend this one. RED Mod Pack. This is purely aesthetic. It rescales your units. It adds more units to your battalions, so you don't have humans the same size as vehicles and tanks and planes. They resized everything to make it seem more realistic, and they made every unit look the part of whatever civ you're playing, so not all units look the same. Not every archer has the same look, different colors. They actually have different ethnicities and fit the civilization they're dealing with. So this, I recommend this one highly. It kind of just makes the game more, it makes it feel more realistic. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. Religion, improved customization. As you can see, I don't use it, but it gives you that bonus belief when you found a religion. I haven't used it in a while, so I don't know whether that replaces the I can't remember what civ it is off the top of my head that gets the 6th bonus religion, but I don't know if it replaces that or it just gives you another one anyway. But I don't use it because I don't really go deep into religion, and I think it's fairly alright as it is. Again, it's for you to test and see if you like it. Resource mint includes copper. This is a fairly minute one, but I think a lot of people think that mints should include copper because copper is a type of metal. That's what mints work with. But again, this is a very minute one, just a minor kind of tweak that a lot of people feel should be there. So I use it. These next few, these terrain ones, there's a set you can download all these mods on at once. This just basically makes it so you take all the special tile improvements that different civs have, and any civ can use them. So like the French chateaus can be used by everyone, the Moais, the Kasbah, all of these, instead of being special to any particular civilization, everyone can use. They are all replaced, so the French chateau expansion, for example, doesn't leave the French kind of empty-handed. It does give them something to replace that specialty, but I don't use these simply because, like I said with the Shoshone one, it kind of takes away that uniqueness each civilization has and that advantage and balancing they have, so I tend not to use these too much. Again, that's more of a thing to figure out on your own. I don't use them. They are good, though, so it's worth looking into. Poor tiles tweak I do use. All this does is makes it so those useless tiles like tundras and deserts actually gives you a little bit of stuff to work with. Because sometimes you have that city that is next to that really nice resource, gives you that nice, coastline city, but there's a half of tundra around it and it's completely useless resources. This just kind of makes it so it's not as useless. There is some use coming from it. It's still not a lot. It doesn't make it overbalanced, but it's just kind of a gap closer on that. Scout to Explorer, I don't use this one, but it just gives an upgrade to the Scout. I almost said the Explorer. No, you can make Explorers like in Civ 4. You can upgrade to Explorers, and it makes them explore. I don't really know how else to describe how they work. It's the same as the Explorers in Civ 4. I don't use it. I just don't use Scouts much after I get the entire continent mapped out, but to each their own. This one, however, extremely useful. Starting Scouts instead of Warriors. This was something I'm sad they didn't include in Civilization 5 from Civilization 4, because in Civ 4, a lot of races started with scouts as opposed to warriors, and I really find it just helps you early on to explore the area, plan your first city, and get things moving. So I recommend this one. Less damage, captured cities. I don't have it enabled, but I did at one point. This just makes it so that when a city is taken, the damage it has on it is a lot less, so it's a lot harder to be recaptured. So this is, again, both pros and cons. If you get a city taken from you, it's harder to take back. But if you take a city, then it's a lot harder for them to take back. So obviously there's pros and cons to it. I haven't played the game recently, so I don't know how balanced capturing cities are, so I have to go in and play a regular game before I re-enable this, but just so it's there, and you know it's there. Wonder Race, another one I don't use. This one, if you're building a wonder, it notifies you with other races building that same wonder with how long it's going to be before they finish. So this just prevents you from spending all this time building a wonder and then 2 turns before you're about to finish, someone beats you to it, because that is extremely annoying. And basically, if you're building the Great Library and it says you have 16 turns and you find out someone else is going to beat you to it, then you don't have to waste those 16 turns. I don't use this because I kind of like having that kind of worry, that anxiety from wondering if I'm actually going to pull off the wonder or not. But again, another very hit or miss thing. It's up to you. That's all I have here, though. I did have more, but in the time I've played, some of them have been re-updated, become obsolete. There were some that added more resources like rice and jade and more different cultural foreign resources that aren't, you know, the generic stuff. To look for mods, you just go into this get mods section. This thing pops up, and you can scroll through all these things. And there is a lot of mods. I recommend either going to top rated or checking off what it is you're looking for. Or if you know the mod itself, you can just search it. You know, standard Steam mod stuff. But that is really it for the video. If you like it, feel free to hit the like button and leave a comment. I also, if you want to leave a comment recommending any other mods that improve the base game itself rather than changing something, any mods like the ones I've listed here that people can look at and then go search up and try themselves, feel free to do so, because I know I'm missing a lot of mods, especially since I haven't played in some time. But if you leave a list so people can, you know, go in, they don't have to search through all the mods and test them themselves. If they can go on, read the comments, and you know, get right down to business, then that will definitely help them out. And probably me as well, so I can get back to, you know, playing this game. But, so that's all for this video. I will be doing more mod reviews. If there is a mod that you think I should review, also leave that in the comment section. And I will see you on my next video.